How do you make this wonderful restaurant-style creme brulee at home? Well, it's easier than you think, and it really only takes 5 ingredients to make. I'm gonna start with heavy cream, and that is the creme in creme brulee. So I have 4 cups, which is 1 quart of heavy cream. Pour that into a small saucepan and heat this over medium-low heat, and to this add 1 vanilla bean. And the vanilla bean is what gives the creme brulee its wonderful flavor. You could also use vanilla extract in place of 1 whole bean with the seeds. I would say a teaspoon to a teaspoon and a half of vanilla extract would be just fine. And what I'm doing is just splitting the pod down the center, taking the back of my knife and scraping up all of those millions of seeds. And that goes right into the pot with this cream, and you're gonna bring this up to a simmer. You really just want to infuse the cream with the vanilla flavor. And now for a third ingredient, sugar. In total for this recipe, you will need 3/4 of a cup of granulated sugar. You need that divided in half. So I'm gonna take half of that and sprinkle it in here with the cream, heat this up, dissolve the sugar, flavor the cream. And while this is heating, I'm going to work on ingredient number 4, 7 egg yolks. And to that, I'm gonna add the other half of the sugar and a pinch of salt. Whisk this together, and you never want to do this too far in advance. Whisking egg yolks with sugar, what can happen is if it sits for too long, the sugar can burn the egg yolks. And what that does is it creates little lumpy clumps of egg yolks. So you don't wanna do this step too far in advance. So our infused cream mixture is nice and hot. You don't want to bring it up to a boil because what that will do is it will break the cream. So take a ladle full, and what we're going to do now is temper the egg yolks, and that means bringing the yolks up to the temperature of the cream. If you poured all of this in at once, what would happen is you'd basically scramble your egg yolks. You don't want that to happen, so you're going to gradually do this. So I'm going to ladle in my cream and then whisk this quickly together, bringing those egg yolks up to temperature, and now the rest of the cream. Once this is whisked together, strain it through a fine mesh sieve just to pull out the vanilla bean, if there's any little bits of egg yolk. To bake the custards, I have 8 5-ounce ramekins. Just fill your ramekins up. I would leave maybe 1/4 of an inch. Make sure your oven is preheated to 300 degrees. And also, you're going to need a tea kettle or a pot of boiling water, because whenever you're cooking custards, it's really best to cook them in a water bath. What that does is it cooks the custard more gently, giving you a nice silky texture to your custard. I'm gonna go right to the oven with these, middle rack of your oven. It's best to fill with the hot water when the pan is in your oven so that you don't spill. 30 to 40 minutes until the custards jiggle slightly in the center. When they come out of the oven, what you want to do is you want to remove the ramekins from the water bath that they're baking in onto a wire rack to cool for about 30 minutes, maybe up to an hour, before wrapping with plastic wrap and refrigerating overnight. So that's what I have here, and now the fun part is creating that crunchy, sugary, caramelized top. So all you need is a little bit more granulated sugar, about 1.5 tablespoons. Place it on and then rotate and tap the ramekin to spread out the sugar in a nice even layer. Now you can brulee the top in 2 different ways. If you have one of these kitchen torches at home, or if you have something in your garage, you can certainly use this, or you could do this under the broiler. I prefer using a kitchen torch because you're not heating up the entire custard by putting it into the oven. So hold the torch about 6 inches away from the top of the custard, gradually melting the sugar and caramelizing the sugar evenly. If you go too close to the custard, you're gonna get burnt spots around. You can see the sugar starts dancing and melting. So this looks good to me. Now let it cool so that all of those hot sugars can set up and become crunchy. And there you go, 5 ingredients. You'll be making creme brulee at home any night of the week. Enjoy, guys.